The more you invest, the more receptive you are, the more open you are to receiving information, more specifically challenging and beneficial information. So let me take this example. Here you are, and this event is free, right? So the free event. Now, half of me is clapping because it's amazing, and half of me is clapping feeling sorry for you. Why is that? Because investment equals receptivity. Just me saying this, no one took notes, or very few people took notes, right? Everyone's sitting down like, oh yeah, entertain me more. Why? Because it's free. Right now, what have you invested? Nothing. Maybe a little bit of time, maybe a bit of a drive, but there's not much skin in the game. You're here, it's free, it's fun, and that will close off what you will let in. You'll take this more casually. I know this because when I started getting big and famous and amazing in the self-help world, a lot of people would give me access to their programs, to their coaching programs, for free. Would I go through those programs in detail? Yes or no?
No.
Would there even be some programs I wouldn't even check? Yes. Why? Because they were free. These were programs that I would dream of having access to back in the day when I was all shy and broke. Dream. I'm like, oh, if I only had access to that program, it would change my life. Finally got access for free, didn't even check it. Or I'd check it and just kind of skim through it. Like, oh, let's see what this is about. Let's see what the design is like. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, this title looks a little interesting. Let me click on that, watch a bit of a video, skim through it a bit, and then just go on to the next thing. Why? Because it was free. I didn't take it seriously. A lot of you here, unfortunately, and this is very harsh, but I'm going to just give it to you raw. A lot of you here, you're going to be entertained by this event, but it's not going to change your lives at all. For real. I've seen it for years. People sometimes even come back to the next free event, a couple years later. Like, I'm back. Anything change? Nah. Entertain me. It was fun. It was cool watching you on stage. Okay, but what about your life? No. And they come again and again and again, and they just stay stuck, or they fall off. It's absolutely insane. It's actually, as a coach, the saddest thing ever. Okay? So let's break this down. Investment equals receptivity. Think about it like this. Here you're at a free event. How have you been experiencing this event so far? Think about it. What is your RAS, your selective focus, tuned in on? What are you looking for? You're like, what's he saying? Am I going to hear a new story, a new bit? Am I going to collect a new bit of information? Ooh, is there going to be something entertaining that happens? Oh, is Julien going to do something crazy and loud? Right? How have you been experiencing it? Now, let's just say you spent $500 for this event. Sink into that perspective. As of right now, you're $500 minus, $500 down. If you don't have $500, first of all, pathetic. Number two, you're now in debt. For real. Again, I'm telling you how it is. Unless it's a choice, absolutely pathetic. But if it's a choice, I respect that. But say you don't even have $500, you're now $500 in debt. Take a moment to sink into this perspective. Your bank account, boom, it's down. And you're here. Would something change in the way you experience this event? Would something change in the way you start focusing on what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, what would happen? I call this ROI thinking, return on investment. You're going to start filtering what I say through, okay, how am I going to use this to make my money back? To get a return on this investment of $500. If it's free, you're not looking for a return, it's free. You might get a little nugget here and there of value. You're like, well, that's great, it's all bonus because it's free. If there's 500, you're sitting here and you're probably going to start taking notes, even on things you don't think are important. You might hear this, oh, investment equals receptivity, and half of you are just like, if you spend $500, you're like, maybe I don't know if this is important, but I'm still going to take a note just in case because I spent $500. You're going to write it down. You're going to start asking yourself, how can I apply this to my life to make the money back, as opposed to entertain me? I'm not even going to think about how I'm going to apply this. It's free. What if you now spent $5,000? Let that sink in. $5,000, boom, gone. Out of your bank account. What would happen? You'd be locked in. You'd be taking a note on everything. Julien moved his hand to the right and his left hand this way. Oh my God, he's literally every note. You'd be so locked in and so much would enter. Okay, why? Because investment equals receptivity.